Hey everyone, I'm back. I know I haven't done a video in a while, but every time I do a video after not doing a video in a while, I get to say I'm back, so that's fun. I have just not been able to be consistent about content for this YouTube channel in the past year, and I apologize for that. Hopefully I will be able to upload more videos in the fall. Things kind of seem to have calmed down a little bit, so that looks like a possibility, but you never know. So I didn't really read that much this year. I mean, I know it's October, so I still have some time, but I did get to read quite a few awesome books over the summer, so I wanted to do a summer reading wrap-up for you. I didn't really read enough over each month to do like a monthly wrap-up, so I'm just going to do it this way. So back in June, I started this book called Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping, and I kind of just it took me kind of all summer to read this, just bits and pieces here and there. This is a really interesting book. If you kind of like any of the sort of new age self-improvement, I won't call it self-help, but those types of books, it has some really interesting ideas about forgiveness and things of that nature. I would definitely recommend picking this one up, whether or not you're Christian or Buddhist or an atheist or, whatever you are. I feel like this has some ideas that would apply to, no matter what your philosophy or religion is. So that's a nonfiction book. I had kind of been going through a reading slump. One day I was sitting by the pool and I picked up Imaginary Girls by Noah Runsuma, and I just could not stop reading it. I couldn't put it down. I had started this book back in November when I actually went to study with Noah Runsuma at the Writing Barn. This copy is actually signed, which is pretty awesome. For whatever reason, I ended up putting it down. It's not that I wasn't into it. I think I just got kind of involved in some other things. Anyway, so I picked it back up in June, and I finished it in one day, I think, and it was just a really compelling read. It's kind of like magical realism. She has a very consistent style, I would say. This book is about two sisters, and one of them discovers a dead body in the reservoir, so she is sent away. But when she comes back to town, the girl who supposedly died is, alive and walking around. It's a really quick read, too. I would definitely recommend reading it if you like sort of any of the magical realism kind of books. Next, I read Invisible Fault Lines by Kristen Page Madonia. I was actually supposed to go back to the Writing Barn in last week, a couple weeks ago, and study with Kristen Page, just the way I did Noah Runsuma last year. I was accepted into the program again this year, so I was really excited. But and I picked up her book and read it, and I really liked it. I did not end up getting to go to the Writing Barn, but she was nice enough to read the work that I was workshopping and send her comments, so that was really amazing of her. I really enjoyed her writing style. It's about a girl whose father goes missing in San Francisco, and then she is in a museum and she sees a photograph of the big San Francisco earthquake of 1906, and her father is in it. So there's a little time travel in this book. It really deals with grief and loss in a very realistic way, and I really liked it. I enjoyed her writing style very much, so pick it up. The next book I read on ebook, and that was The Prayer of Jabez. This is a very short book, and I read it on the way home from Texas in July. It's written in a Christian framework, but it's very interesting, and I feel like even if you're not Christian, you might be able to get something out of it. It's this very specific prayer in the Bible, but it talks about how using this prayer can kind of help you to improve your own life. And it was a really interesting read. If you're into that sort of thing, definitely pick it up. So then in August, I started teaching a screenwriting course for Southern New Hampshire University online. So in preparation for that course, I reread Screenplay, The Foundations of Screenwriting by Sid Field. This is a very useful book. It is helpful mainly for screenwriters, but I think even if you write fiction or playwriting or, any other type of storytelling, I think you could get something out of it. Yeah, it was really good for me to reread it and kind of just freshen up on some of the aspects of screenwriting that I would be teaching. I have to say, my students are amazing. I've read some really great screenplays in that class. I also read another phenomenal young adult book, but it is not published yet. And this person is one of my critique partners, and I don't think she has an agent yet. I believe she will get an agent very soon, and the book will come out very soon. And then I'll be able to say, I read it before any of you. Because all of you will be reading it because it's amazing. And I wish I could say more about it, but I can't. Next, I read Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Everyone was complaining about this because it was marketed as the 8th Harry Potter book, but it's not actually a book, it's a play. I think a lot of people didn't understand that it was going to be an actual script. I'm a playwright, so that didn't bother me. I read plays all the time. I understood what people were criticizing about this book, but I kind of looked at it as a different thing than the rest of the Harry Potter books. And approaching it from that perspective, I think for what it was good. It was enjoyable. I enjoyed reading it. There were some really cool moments that happened in this book. There were some really great things from a theatrical standpoint that I would love to see how they produced. I feel like it's slightly different from the rest of the Harry Potter books, but I think that's okay. I feel like theater and fiction, two different mediums. I did not love this as much as I love the rest of the Harry Potter books, but I liked it. The next book that I read was Skinny by Donna Cooper. Donna, actually, I met her last year at the residency with Nova Winsuma at the Writing Barn. So, I just now got around to reading her book, and I am really glad that I did. It's an amazing book. I read it pretty much in one sitting, but it's about this girl who has gastric bypass surgery. She's basically like morbidly obese, but she has this voice in her head that she refers to as Skinny, who's always kind of voicing what she is projecting on other people as their thoughts. Anyway, it was one of those books where I was reading and I was just like blown away that I actually know the person that wrote this book, because she is incredibly talented. I love her writing style. She has a new book coming out in spring, I believe, called Worthy, so be on the lookout for that. Okay, so those are all the books that I managed to read over the summer. Hopefully I'll have a more productive reading fall. I don't really have like a organized TBR for the fall, but I do have a few books that I know I'm going to read that I just wanted to mention to you. The first one I am currently listening to on audio, and it's called Letting Go by David Hawkins, I believe. It's all about being present in the now moment, and it's very kind of Eckhart Tolle, The Power of Now. It reminds me of that a lot. I really like it. It's very helpful for me to listen to books like that. It reminds me to be in the moment and to be present with everything, and kind of just not hold on to resentment and bitterness and negativity and things like that. So yeah, I really enjoy reading books like that. I also just started this book called Evermore by Alison Noel. It was a book I bought for like $3 at the used bookstore. So I don't know, I just kind of thought it looked interesting. Oh yeah, it's about a girl who can sort of see people's auras and hear their thoughts, and I don't know, there seems like some paranormal stuff going on here. So I guess we'll see if it, ends up being good. I've literally read like a few pages. It seemed interesting. So we'll see. And also, another book I know I will be reading shortly is Unblemished by Sara, which comes out next week. I'm very excited about it. Sara is actually another booktuber. She's also one of my friends. We talk about Once Upon a Time a lot. We've done some videos together in the past. I think she's just a great person, and I am very excited to read her book. I've been hearing about it for quite a while now. Last month, you may have seen on Instagram, I was participating in her Unblemished You photo challenge. That was like 30 days long. I didn't do every single day, but it was a lot of fun. Her book is sort of an urban fantasy. Rather than describe it to you, I'm actually just going to link to her book trailer down below. But yeah, it comes out next week. I think you guys should all go out and buy it because, we need to support our booktube right to people. And also, I have a feeling it's going to be really good. I'm so happy for you, Sara, and I am so excited to read your book. Alright, so those are the books I read over the summer and the books that I know I want to read over the fall. What about you guys? What did you read over the summer? What was your favorite book? And what book are you really looking forward to picking up in the fall? I know it's been a while, since I've talked about books, but that's why I'm doing it now. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos about books, music, or writing. And I will see you in the next video.